What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 316 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name's Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
What up?
And Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
This week, we're geeking out about Disney gearing up to take over the gaming space. HBO just not stopping. We've been talking about HBO for 3 weeks. They keep coming out with, important news. And then our thoughts on She-Hulk, because She-Hulk just came out.
Yeah.
So, we will get into that in a little bit, but first, let's talk about the video games we've been playing. Shelley, you had a new game.
Yeah, I
You and Ezra
bought
both did.
and beat Cult of the Lamb.
Nice.
So
I don't even know what this game is. You guys both played it.
Oh, it's a trip.
it's so good.
So it's one of those things where, when it caught some buzz, and so we kind of talked about it in our various gaming chats and backlog golf chats, and we're like, okay, well, it's called Cult of the Lamb. What exactly does cult mean? You know, and so it's very much like an Eldritch horror thing. But go for it, Shelley. You've played more than I have.
I was gonna say it's basically a roguelike and cult man simulator in one.
Yep.
Okay.
I read some article that said that it's like if Hades and Animal Crossing had an evil baby, and I honestly think that's a really good description because it really it does itch the same scratch the same itch, whatever, as Hades does, of being able to go on runs, but then having something to do when you get back to your home base, and your home base is the sort of cult simulator. You have a space that you need to clean up, and you build temples and build things. And you recruit followers, and you can recruit followers a couple different ways. The sort of easiest way would be to while you're on these runs, in the forest and stuff like that. So the premise, that's basically the premise. The premise itself is you're this lamb who's about to get sacrificed, and instead of getting sacrificed, you're getting sacrificed to stop this prophecy from coming. And this isn't spoilers because this literally happens the very first scene in the game.
Yep.
And in fact, it even happens in I think the trailers, if you look at the trailers.
The animated trailers are so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're about to be sacrificed, but then this this very powerful being basically saves you and says, hey, I'll save your life, but you have to create a cult in my name. And you agree to it. There's actually no way to not agree to it. So you agree to it, and that's sort of how the game starts, is you have this power of this, kind of more of an eldritch-like being, with powers and stuff, and every run that you go on, basically you have to defeat these 4 bishops. These are the guys who are trying to sacrifice you in that first scene, and so those are kind of your goals, is to get rid of all of them, and so they each have a area that's associated with them. There's a foresty area, there's a swamp area, there's a underwater kind of area, and then there's a spider cave area. And so those are the 4 areas associated with each bishop. And so you go on these runs, and they're randomly generated rooms that you just kind of have to go through. And you can sort of choose, there's different paths you can go on. You're always going to have encounters, but you can choose different rooms. You can sort of prioritize collecting resources, stuff that you can make food with, or getting lumber or stone or things like that.
Or getting more cult members is fun too.
You can prioritize getting followers. It'll show you on the map basically hey, you could choose one of these paths. One will give you these options, one will give you these options. There's also random shops you can stop by. There's question marks, which are always fun. So sometimes you can go to a question mark and something random, not random per se, but you don't know what's going to happen. And then eventually, there's a boss at the end of each sort of run, as you would say. So, and then you come back, then you come back to your cults, and you can actually name your cult whatever you would like. And that's where your followers are, and they work for you, and they obey pretty much everything you say you do, as long as their faith is high enough. There's a faith meter, and there's a hunger meter. You got to make sure they're fed. So you need to be careful, collecting resources. You want to make sure that they're fed, because you don't want your followers to die.
You can actually cook and stuff too.
So there's a little tiny cooking mechanic, very basic cooking mechanic.
And they'll cook. I believe they do stuff with you too. I don't know if they cook with you, but I know they'll help you gather resources too.
They'll help you gather resources. Cool. Yeah, there's. The main thing is there's this temple where you can preach sermons, or you can have rituals. That's where you do all your rituals. You can sacrifice people. That's a thing. And you always gain something for it, right? And so there's another mechanic called devotion that's sort of tied in with faith, is that when followers basically have a lot of faith in you, they'll give you devotion, and devotion points can be spent on new things that you can build in the area. So you can unlock like a farm, and the farm's really helpful because then it helps you grow things really fast, and it helps followers be able to basically be like little farmers and stuff. And there's like, you can make better sleeping arrangement for your people. You can make stuff for like resource farming, like for stone and for wood. So it's like a whole thing, right? And it all works on a daily cycle. And the gameplay loop is incredibly, incredibly satisfying. At least I found it to be very, very satisfying, because it really is like Hades, except there's more things to do.
And you can kind of go at your own pace. Like, there's difficulty levels too, which I think is cool.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like, you can prioritize going on runs if you want, if that's what you really find more satisfying, or you can really do more of the cult sim stuff. Although for me, I kind of ran out of stuff to do before, faster than I would have liked. I ran out of stuff to do in the cult sim. I had all the stuff, and had all the upgrades pretty much, and I was like, well, there's not much more to do. Really cool cast of characters. Everyone's like a little animal, right?
There are these cute little animals, so it's even like weirder and funnier that way. Like, it feels almost like an Adult Swim or Cartoon Network cartoon.
Yeah, so everyone's like a little animal. There's some really, really freaking creative character design. There's a fish man, and he looks like a man. He's trying to disguise himself to look like a man and not a fish, but he is just a fish. And it's like, if you take you have to look up this guy. He is the prime example of amazing character design, because he has like this little mustache, and he has like a little thing on his head, but his mouth is on the top of his head, but his mustache doesn't throw you off because he has his fin there, and it looks like a nose, but it's his fin. It's crazy. It's so fun. There's a fishing mechanic, by the way, with that.
There's like cool mini games too.
Yeah, there's instead of I was trying to think of, what do you play in Witcher? You play
Gwent. There's Knucklebone in this.
So this has Knucklebones, which is like it's a simple dice game. Anyway, I think it's a really freaking phenomenal game, but at the same time, man, is it buggy. It's incredibly buggy. It's actually really unfortunate how buggy it is.
And that's across platforms too, right? I remember that's what you were saying. It's not just like Switch.
Yeah, it's across platforms except for PC. There's a lot of patches that have already been pushed to PC, but there have not been a lot of patches to console, which is really unfortunate. So
I'm looking up Fishman now, and I love him.
He's like, I
his mohawk is his mouth.
His character design is so fun. I love him. So, but yeah, so basically, all this being said, it's a really good game in a lot of aspects, but honestly, at this point, I would recommend, if you're interested in maybe getting the game, either get PC or wait if you want to get on console. Because I just got on Switch because I was like, oh, I want to be able to like take it with me, play handheld. And it really is great for that, but the lag spikes are intense. I've had many soft locks. I've had many places where I've had to restart, and I lose runs. And there's points in which I'm trying to do a ritual, and then nothing happens. And I've had other problems where there's a pretty universal problem people are having, where only 6 followers can come to your church, or your temple or whatever, even if you have more than 6 followers. I didn't even realize that was like a bug. You're supposed to be able to have all the followers in your temple, and like, I looked on the subreddit and everyone's facing the same issue and it's really annoying, because there's also quests, right? Your followers can give you quests, and you pretty much kind of have to take the quests, because if you don't take the quests, they lose like all faith in you, and they will probably try to leave. That's a whole other thing. You can like throw them in prison. Anyway, there's a ton of mechanics in this game. But there's these quests, and some of these quests are really messed up. Some of them are like, I really want you to sacrifice me, or hey, we killed this guy, but I want you to resurrect him. Can you do that for me? Or hey, I want to marry you. Can we get married? That's a whole thing. You can marry as many people as you want, because you're the leader of this cult, right? That's pretty typical. So, but the problem is
Sounds so ridiculous.
It is really ridiculous, but the problem is that if you want to do something that's like a ritual-based thing like that, it's pretty much the luck of a draw if that particular follower actually goes into your temple. Because if that follower doesn't go to your temple, there's no way to do the ritual on that character, on that follower.
Oh, wow.
And then if the timer runs out, you lose faith, or they lose faith in you, and it's awful. So it's really annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know, LJ, are you facing a lot of these issues? It mostly hit me at later in endgame.
I feel like there was a time where I think something was supposed to pop or something was supposed to happen, and like I think I had to restart my game at one point. But
Gotcha.
I haven't played enough, honestly. Like it was one of those things where I got it to fully intend because we were going to talk about it last week when it was just going to be you and I, but life happened and I ended up taking a break last week as well.
Yeah.
But I haven't had those issues yet, but I feel like I eventually will.
Yeah. I don't know why. It really hit more the closer I got to the end of the game. Like at the beginning of the game, it wasn't that bad. It was like, oh, there's some lag spikes.
I'm sure it's one of the things, because this is an indie game, so I'm sure it's one of those things that just with so many systems at play, it kind of maybe just gets confused.
Yeah.
It's I do want to add too. We keep using all this terminology, that's very, connected to what we do here. It's very much a commentary.
Just hold on the wording.
Huh?
Wait.
I mean,
just the way you worded it.
Faith. Like faith and devotion
you.
and things like that. But I was trying not to, just in relation to the idea of faith and belief and stuff with Geeks Under Grace, like. It's very much a commentary on like blindly following like religion and things like that, and like it's not like there's gonna be people that go look at this game and like, oh, is this blasphemous to play, or is this like, am I sinning by playing this or whatever? And it's like, no, it feels very much like a commentary on what a cult is, and it's like, and it's one of those things where it's like, sure, you are doing these things in this game, but I think it's important to look at it as like satire and comedy, and like it's not meant to be taken seriously at all. Right. Which is kind of, I wasn't
and
sure.
And we are not starting a cult at Geeks Under Grace.
No. Well, so, and say that's where the wording was funny, but I'm just like, it was more of the terminology that I was, pointing at.
Right.
Is,
Using words
but
like
it's just,
faith and sacrifice and
yes, and devotion
temple,
and all that, worship and sermons and things like that.
Yeah.
But
doctrine. There's a whole doctrine thing.
Yes, there is a doctrine section. So, that's why I wanted to point this out, because I'm like, it's very much not meant to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, but I didn't really know what it was until I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, this actually looks really, really good. Like it looks. I mean, if some people aren't comfortable playing this thing, then that's cool. That's awesome. Don't do it. Don't play it. We encourage.
I mean, it's like discernment. Yeah.
Yeah,
we talk about discernment with all things. If the game makes you feel like you actually want to start a cult in real life, maybe don't play it. Maybe it's not for you.
Yes. And so
I want to point out too that I know some people, like, and again, we've been talking like, the other staff members in Geeks Under Grace, who are just like uncomfortable with it at all. Just the fact that you're our protagonist and you're being encouraged to manipulate all these people, sacrifice these people, just do ridiculous things to these people.
Yes.
And also,
it is ridiculous.
So I know there's people who are uncomfortable with that aspect. And I know that people are also uncomfortable with just the fact that there's a lot of just imagery that could be kind of uncomfortable. There's a lot of pentagrams.
Yep.
So if someone's uncomfortable with just seeing pentagrams in general, then I can totally understand not wanting to get this game. It's the pentagram usage in this game. It's pretty much like a teleporter. Like anytime you see like a pentagram, it's like, oh, this is where you can do a ritual, like a sacrifice, or you can teleport, or fast travel. Really, that's more of the proper term is fast travel. There's some different places you can fast travel, but but I know people are just don't want to even have a game with that in it, even if that's all that's for, which again, I totally respect that. It really does come down to discernment, and I know that a lot of people were really worried about, again, sort of the portrayal of like, is this sort of trying to poke fun of religion? Is this trying to make religion look bad? Like, what is it trying to do here? But I think LJ put it right, that for me personally, I think if anything, I think it's a really good portrayal of what it means to blindly follow something or someone and have no critical thinking. Because the followers in this game are all incredibly stupid. They're so dumb. They're like completely loyal to these bishops for one sometimes, and they'll like fight you, and the minute you beat them, they're just like, oh, I'll follow all your faith, all your doctrine, I'll follow you to the end of the world. Like, they drop their loyalty at the drop of a hat, and they go full send. And also, I want to mention, they're kind of mean as well. There's a way to create food made of people's poop. Because poop, that's like it's a mechanic in the game. You can use it for fertilizer anyway. But you can make a poop meal, and your followers, as a quest, will be like, hey, I think it'd be really funny to make this other follower eat the poop. And I'm like, okay.
And that's why this game is straight up silly. Like,
and then I do it, and then what's so funny is just like, okay, like the other guy who like eats the poop, they're like, laugh, it's funny, whatever. Except he pukes, whatever, it's fine, you clean it up.
Yeah.
End of the day, it's fine. But then that follower is like, hey, I know that guy pranked me. How about we have him eat some meat from our dead followers, because that's also a thing. You can create meals from the followers that either die naturally or
sacrifice.
Because they also can just get old and die, by the way. But if you like sacrifice them, you can get meat for it, and so you could like feed that meat to your followers, and so it's cannibalism, right? And so that's another thing, right? It's like the followers are all kind of jerks too. It's just like I think I totally respect anyone who's like not going to feel comfortable playing this game, but I would encourage those people who are uncomfortable to play this game to sort of think about it that way, to think about it as this is what happens when you totally blindly follow someone. There's no critical thinking, right? They're all just
and it's not trying to offend anybody either, which I think is perfectly fine. Like,
but yeah, and you're not really a good guy either, right? I mean, you're killing these bishops who aren't very good beings. But the being you follow is also not very good, and you yourself
the lesser of two evils kind
good.
of a thing.
Yeah, it's like no one in this game, including the followers, like the followers I would say are the most victims, or are the victims, if anything. Because they just don't have the freedom to even think freely for themselves ever, really. But everyone seems villainous. Everyone seems bad. Like, this is kind of a dark, cute, but dark and messed up little world that you're playing in, so... But again, if none of that is comfortable enough for you, like if you're not comfortable playing it, don't play it. But also, even if you are comfortable playing it, maybe don't get it on PC or just wait on console. Is what I will tell you if you are interested. Totally super great game.
I think it would be a cool Switch game. So
when it works, it just doesn't work a lot of the time.
Apparently, I would love to try this. I don't know if it has it on like the Switch version, but apparently there's like Twitch integration. Really? And I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do this on our channel just because I feel like that'd be too much. But I maybe do it on my personal channel.
Yeah.
But apparently you can name followers after after people in chat.
The people. Oh, cool. That's so fun.
And so like so I think so I did name my cult BFC, Best Flippin' Cult, as a Doom reference to BFG.
Yeah.
But no, I do want to try the Twitch integration on it at some point. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's like...
But like I said, not on our channel. I'll do it on my own.
PC is getting all these updates and patches, and I'm just like, please bring to console. I know it takes longer for console, especially for Switch, apparently, so that's why I'm kind of like bummed about that. But I like go to the subreddit every other day or so, the Cult of the Lamb subreddit, and like half the posts are just about ridiculous bugs, some of which I don't even experience. That are even worse than what I experienced. So just consider that. It's a really, really great game. It just needs some polish because, it breaks, it soft locks. You have to restart every once in a while. It's not great in that way. But, it's really fun besides that.
Cool. LJ, you were playing another game as well.
So another game I want to give a quick shout out to, is called Rollerdrome, and I think we saw this at... There was a showcase, I think, was it a PlayStation one? Or I think it might have been during Summer Game Fest, actually. But it's it's like a cel-shaded 70s, 80s looking like comic book style. And you're on roller skates, and it's basically like plays like a Tony Hawk game. But you have guns, and you can shoot at guys. It's like a post-apocalyptic thing. It's super fun. Just like when you get on a roll, pull off combos, you have to do tricks to like restore ammo, and then like with kills you can like restore your like health and all that. Like it's one of those things like once you get on a good flow, you know, they got this like slow motion mechanic and stuff. I've been really into those games where it's like, oh, here, we're gonna put you in a room with some cool stuff to do and a bunch of guys to shoot or fight. So it's one of those games, but it's super fun. I recommend taking a look at it. But yeah, it's good. So
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then what's been going on in the gaming news?
All right. So gaming news is pretty simple this week. I did want to mention. I think the news itself is about a week old now, anyway. But I did want to mention to our audience that at D23, there's going to be a Disney and Marvel games showcase. I believe, what is it, like September 9th, I saw, I think. Which Marvel's making enough games now, and like Disney, at least, they're like outsourcing their games enough to where they could do this. There's still a couple Star Wars games in development. So, if, you know, we may see some of that there, but it seems like there's going to be a heavy emphasis on Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we'll see Midnight Suns there. And then I know there's definitely other things that are being worked on that are like Marvel projects in the gaming space. There's a mobile and PC card game coming out called Marvel Snap, which I'm hoping they like. I know they've been doing testing for that game, so I'm hoping they drop that like around that time.
I know it's a card game, but I wish it was a Pokemon Snap spinoff.
I mean, we did get another Pokemon Snap, so
Yeah. Or Iron Man, but it's an Iron Man suit, but it's for photos.
It would be nice. I don't expect anything at all, but it would be really, really, really nice if we got to see like maybe footage from Spider-Man, you know, the next Spider-Man game, maybe, you know, or something like that. But those would be saved for Sony's stage, I think. So like, I don't know. Like, there's probably more Star Wars stuff. They might show more Midnight Suns, even though like people have seen so much of that game already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it remains to be seen. I think Amy Hennig, creator of Uncharted and stuff like that, I think she's working on a Star Wars thing too. So we'll just have to see like what it is exactly they're going to be showing off. So who knows? Maybe there'll be some cool surprise. I know there was like supposedly there are rumors that Ubisoft was working on a Blade game, but they've denied it. And there was like rumors of like apparently Avalanche, the makers of Just Cause, were working on an Iron Man game at one point, but that got scrapped. And, you know, there's like little tidbits and rumors of things that like maybe
Disney
we will
has
get
the money
surprised.
to be able to do like big AAA games themselves. We haven't really seen anything that they've done that's been amazing, except like
they
Kingdom
used
Hearts,
to.
which even isn't theirs.
They used to have their own game studio.
Like
you know,
Super Nintendo era, right? You're talking about like Aladdin and stuff.
Not really. Because, I mean, that was like Sega and Capcom and stuff like that.
Was it? Okay, I don't remember.
But like last gen during PS3 and 360 era, they literally had like Disney game studios, and they did a bunch of stuff. But then they scrapped that, and so now what Disney has been doing is they've been outsourcing a bunch of their IPs for games. So that's why we've been seeing Marvel outsource so much too. So it remains to be seen.
It'll be interesting to see if Disney can take over the gaming world as well. They kind of got movie and TV in the bag right now.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to take anything over. I just think it is cool that like, oh, they're actually popping up in this section of our podcast instead of movies and TV. So
cool. Yeah,
that's it. The next piece of news, which I'm super pumped about because I didn't realize that this game was this big. I mean, I know it was trending and people were playing, but Multiverses was apparently the best-selling game of July, which is only the second time Elden Ring has been overthrown this year.
Oh my gosh.
But so what gets me even more is that Multiverses is a free-to-play game, and they did have like an early access phase, but when it first dropped, like you could only buy the Founders Pack, and so I guess people were buying those Founders Packs enough to, like, I don't know, like maybe they weren't. Maybe they didn't understand that it was going to be free to play or what, but basically the Founders Pack unlocks all the characters, all the starting roster. So I'm very surprised that it sold that much. I mean, I've personally have not stopped playing it. I've played it like probably the last couple of nights in a row still, and I've been playing it on my personal streams like for like weeks in a row too. So it's like I've been into it. It's been probably one of my favorite games of the year now, but I did not expect it to be like that high up on the NPD.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I'm excited.
Very cool though.
Yeah, so that's pretty neat to see. And then the last piece of news is that the Game Awards has an official date, which they've announced because Gamescom is this week, and I believe it's going to be December 8th. And I guess there's like a new category and stuff too. So you can expect the usual same flow of announcements versus actual awards being given out. Half the categories are going to be lists, like usual probably. But it's always a fun time. Like to me, it's like right up there with E3, as in like people get together and watch it and talk about it. Like we literally stream it on Thursday nights. When it does pop on. It's a really fun time I think for the gaming space. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm excited.
Cool.
Gonna clear my schedule for that. Anyway, that's the gaming news.
All right, we'll get into movies then. LJ, I finally saw Prey. I know you were a big fan of that. Really enjoyed it. I think I could have done well in theaters. I think I would have done all right in theaters.
Yes.
It was very respectful to Native American heritage, from what I know of, at least. I thought that was really cool.
So there are producers like that were heavily involved from it, and it was actually shot on location in like Canada and places that those tribes would have like lived.
Okay, that's awesome.
That's very cool.
It's heavily, and there's like things that I don't know if there's things that she does like towards the end of that movie that are like have to do with actual like native like indigenous like superstition and stuff too.
That's cool.
I won't. I mean, I don't know if it's a spoiler, so I won't say it. I'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a neat little thing that's like, oh, like they put that much thought into it.
Mm-hmm. It did feel, I don't know the word for it. I don't want to say indie, but just it was such a personal story that like we're not used to that in Hollywood anymore. Things just get so like crazy. I feel like I think of like a Hollywood movie, like a big blockbuster. It's usually the world's ending in some kind.
It felt like an independent movie flair, like with Hollywood flair, is what it felt like to me.
It kind of almost felt to me like, especially with the Predator being this almost prehistoric feel to him, this very primal to him. It kind of felt like a web series, like a YouTube series that was given a budget.
Yes.
And that's not to say the acting was bad or anything. It looked great. But just
everything was awesome.
The story of it felt like the creativity of someone who was kind of given you can do what you want and not try to make some big blockbuster thing.
That's good.
You may be able to pick up on when I say this, but one of those weapons was straight up inspired by God of War.
Oh yeah, that was super cool. I knew people were talking about that and that it was inspired by it, and I saw it and I was like, okay, that's it, got it.
Yep, the director's a big gamer, so there was a lot in there that was totally inspired by video games. Yep.
Yeah, super cool. People said that it has an end credit scene. I would say it's not really a scene. Just kind of watch the credits really closely.
Yes,
would be a better way to put it. To say that it's an end credit scene, I was kind of confused.
There's implications of what they could do with it if they are going to do anything with it, but it's also one of those things that they could do nothing with it, and it could just lead to like the original Predator. Yeah.
The show, the movie ended perfectly well on its own.
Yep.
I think it told the story that it needed to tell, and yeah, I don't know. I'm so on board with the idea of like Predator versus pirates and Predator versus Viking and stuff. People would be talking about that. Like that would be so cool.
Just Deadliest Warrior, but with Yatja versus everybody else.
Yeah, but that's not what this felt like to me. That didn't feel like a warrior versus Predator thing. It was just a really cool Native American story that just happened to deal with an alien.
Yeah, and then I'm working on my review still. But I love how, and one of the things I put in my review is that you actually don't go to see this movie to see the Predator like kick butt like you would in most movies. You see this movie to go see Amber Midthunder kick butt, and like she's so like resourcefulness and like it's such a Hollywood, the whole like girl power like have to overcome is such a Hollywood trope, but it fits so well with that setting and time frame.
Yeah,
like, it's perfect.
They did really good. I did make the joke. There's a Cowboys versus Aliens movie out there. And so this was kind of like the opposite. We had Native Americans versus Predators.
Aliens, yeah.
Predators instead of aliens.
It's a good watch though. Like it should have been in theaters. Like I hope this movie gets a nod during award season.
Yeah, Yeah.
I don't expect it to win anything, but I hope it gets
at least a
credit.
nominee or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very, very well done. Yeah, that was not what I expected when they first started talking about the Prey movie. I was happy to see it. It was really well done.
Ooh, I need to watch the. I don't know if I guess you don't read subtitles, but I do still want to watch the Comanche. There is an actual Comanche dub in the Comanche language on Hulu.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I heard.
Yes, I still want to check that out. Like,
my wife had mentioned, she was like, I really kind of wish that it hadn't, like, kind of needed to be so people could watch it. Like, it wouldn't be as watchable for people. Yeah. But it almost did feel out of place to hear them speaking English.
Yes, it did.
Originally, it was
it would have been
not
really
supposed to be in English. That's what I heard. Is that originally supposed to be in the native language?
Yeah, I could see that though.
Watchable. Yeah.
I think the watchability would have taken a hit, but it would have been better.
So cool.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it would have been
Super
really cool.
geeks like me would have been like all over it, but like the actual casual audience would not have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's got like a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes or something. It's like the best rated Predator movie.
That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, what other movies you been watching, LJ?
I watched The Day Shift a few weeks ago, which was fun.
I didn't know that was out, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. Dave Franco is hilarious in that movie. It's a good fun watch. It is rated R. Definitely some vampire like violence in there and crazy
Vampire violence.
Yeah, like it's just
it's gory. The trailers look gory.
Yep. Yeah, and it's good. It's fun.
Cool.
The other movie I watched on Sunday. I watched Dragon Ball Super, superhero.
Sweet.
Which was good. It was fun.
We're gonna be talking about that hitting headlines.
Yes.
What'd you think of it?
It was good. It was fun. There are certain, and I gotta say, I give them props because, Dragon Ball. There's certain things that Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z get a lot of flack for. That they actually bring up, and it makes it very self-aware. But it's also basically like, oh no, like we're not trying to be this serious thing. It's like, it's basically like, oh no, we know you're coming to see this movie for the fights and visual effects. Like, we don't care.
They know the
but
audience.
It also,
they know.
yes, it makes fun of there's parts where it's like makes fun of itself and pokes fun of itself as if like to say like, yes, we know. Like you're not coming to this for some amazing exposition story. You're coming to this to watch these people throw energy blasts and shoot it and fight each other.
What's the movie where he fights Beerus? It was one of the first movies. Battle of the Gods. I feel like starting from that movie, it was almost like they were inspired by Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Like, the comedy that they write in there now is
there's some silliness to this too.
Like self-awareness.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like the Broly movie. It's just like you watch that movie. That movie's a pure visual showcase. This one actually has like 3D effects in it, which is trippy. So they do this like 2D, 3D thing. It's kind of like the way the trend has been going lately, but I feel like it's kind of different.
Okay. That does worry me because I'm not usually into that, but
there's parts of it where it does look weird. I mean, I want to watch it. So like the drawback of watching movies in theaters is that sometimes the screen can be kind of dim and you lose sight of certain things or you don't get a full visual picture. So like I'm excited to watch this on like Blu-ray or something when it comes out, but I'm happy that they show this in the trailers and kind of but my boys Gohan and Piccolo get to be the stars of the show this time again, and it's just exciting after like basically Gohan was supposed to be the original successor to the series after Cell, and people said no, or I guess the Japanese audience is like, no, we love Goku, keep bringing us Goku.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it was neat just to see my two favorite characters get the starring role again.
Yeah,
there are some cool side characters too, because there's a reason it is called superhero. So I think if you're nostalgic for the Cell Saga and you're nostalgic for Dragon Ball at all, you're gonna enjoy it. But I think this isn't one of those movies where I'm gonna recommend people should go see this if you haven't seen it, haven't watched Dragon Ball.
There's just enough Dragon Ball fans out there to make this so big.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
Yes. So it's just one of those things. It's like if you're a fan, and that's the thing. It's like everybody knows DBZ is actually kind of trash, but But it's one of those things. It's like Star Wars. Like there's a lot of Star Wars that is not...
like, come on.
Yes, yes. There's not a lot of
cheese.
like. I'll admit this as an episode 1 like apologist. Like it's a lot like Star Wars. There's a lot of Star Wars that's not very good, and that's the same for Dragon Ball Z. But you're still gonna go watch the movie when it comes out, or you're still gonna play this video game when it comes out. You know, like
Totally.
that's how I feel. That's how I feel about this movie. Like I know fully aware I was fully aware of what I was going for, and I was fully satisfied.
Cool.
So yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Yep.
And then Shelley, what did you watch?
I didn't watch anything like new, but I did rewatch Lemonade Mouth because it was on Disney Plus, and I felt like watching it. And this is very much a kind of nostalgic for me. I don't know. It's a Disney movie, right? It's a Disney Channel original movie.
I was like,
so
what
it's
is
pretty
this?
bad. It's not a good movie, but I really like it. It's something about it. It's Bridget Mendler, is that her first name? I don't know. Who actually like kind of had a little bit of a singing career after this movie. But it's basically about these like high schoolers. It's sort of like The Breakfast Club. Like these high schoolers all go to detention together, and then they ended up forming a band together. It's just really like wholesome, and I think for a Disney Channel movie, it actually has a lot of good like wholesome messaging and diversity, and just kind of like they place things in front of you and you're kind of like, oh, this is how things are gonna go, and then they kind of take it in a different direction, which is fun. I don't know, like I just really like this movie. I can't necessarily recommend it though, because it is just a bad Disney Channel movie, but it's better than, I mean, personally I think it's better than High School Musical. I think there's more to it. It's just kind of fun. I don't know. If you have like kids and you just like want to watch a Disney Channel movie, if they already like Disney Channel movies, this is like one of the better ones. I think that's a fair assessment. This is one of the better Disney Channel movies, but still a Disney Channel movie, right?
See, I'm worried that like if I showed one of my little cousins or something, or one of my my niece or nephew in the future, if I showed them a Disney Channel movie, it'd be like me showing them like a 2D game. They'd be like, "This is crap," or "This
Which
is
is
trash."
totally fair. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, if you already like Disney Channel movies, like any of them, this is one of the better ones. Like this is up there with freaking Sky High. Like I also love Sky High.
Didn't that come to theaters though, or was that?
Maybe it did. I don't know. I've always viewed it as a Disney Channel movie, but maybe it's not. It's like on the same vein, though.
I mean, it is. I agree. No, but anyway.
Yeah,
but yes,
there's a lot of cheese with Lemonade Mouth as well. It's very cheesy as well.
There are movies that, yes, I would love to show like my younger family members, but then they'd be like, I don't know.
This is not the play anymore. Like, that's fine. But I just watched it again because it was on Disney Plus, and I kind of was like scrolling, and I'm like, I want to watch this. And my sister was over. Like, we both just have really, like, fond memories for this movie watching it together. So we just watched it together again. But, it's just, like, I don't know. It's so wholesome. But that's all I'll say. I don't need to go any more about it.
All right. Well, then we will get into the movie news then. Go ahead, Shelley.
So... kind of circle back to Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Superhero actually popped off so hard in the box office that it's actually now officially the best anime movie box office opening ever, which is crazy. That's awesome. But also like kind of unsurprising at the same time, because it's like Dragon Ball is like the biggest anime. Like ever.
So what excites me is that Funimation has been giving their movies full theater releases lately. Like the Demon Slayer one was in my little theater that I live next to, and so was this one, because I thought this one was only going to be like a limited thing, because like a lot of anime movies get relegated to like Fathom events or whatever.
For sure.
Right.
But I was keeping an eye on like whether this movie was going to be in my theater, and I got to just walk over to my theater and watch it, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I mean, I guess Broly was too. I mean, I actually don't even know if Broly was or not, but we were at PAX when that came out, so I don't know. But it's just exciting that like Funimation has been giving their movies like that much of a push, so it does do those kind of numbers, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yep.
So that's cool. And also just shows that there is money in anime, right? Like there's like, if they're like, hey, like maybe other industries will be like, oh, maybe animation's actually really good, which is crazy. Just in context to think about like HBO Max. Like, I know we'll talk about it later, but like, oh my gosh, HBO Max has been terrifying recently. Really depressing. With just how much freaking stuff they're moving. But this is the movie section. We'll talk about that later. So there's that. That's very cool. I also want to talk about some movies coming out in the future. We've talked about Pirates of the Caribbean a couple times. Actually, one of the original writers is going to be coming back, and that's pretty significant. Just because I think it's pretty undisputed that the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie is the best one, and like I don't think it's just because of the first one. I think it's legitimately like something about it, right? And so one of the original writers is going to be coming back, and I was trying to figure out if this was for the Pirates of the Caribbean reboot or another sequel in the franchise. I actually think this is for another sequel in the franchise. I don't think this is for the reboot or remake or whatever that's happening. It's still really confusing, though.
We don't need it.
No, you don't. And honestly, I'm like, do you even need it?
I mean, I'd be okay with a spin-off, but not like another sequel. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Because again, we know Johnny Depp's not coming back. Like, we just know. Like, 100%. That's not happening.
Like, if they just scrap it and do something completely different and still call it Pirates of the Caribbean, I'd be more okay with that.
Just like, yeah, focus on a different ship, focus on a different crew,
like the Margot Robbie thing. Like, if there was a female-led like pirate movie, you know, like that, then I'd be down for it.
I want someone else to make pirate movies.
Not just Disney.
Like, I just don't want a Disney pirate movie. I don't know. I wrote
Netflix
this
is
up before.
working on a pirate show.
Yeah, that would be cool.
There
There needs to be a movie about Anne Bonny. She's a crazy cool pirate.
But I think you're right. I think that's the play. We need pirates, but we don't need Pirates of the Caribbean per se.
Yeah.
I think we could do
that. That's been done. Let's find something else.
It's like, hey, we've gone through our Viking phase. Maybe pirates is the next phase. Let's bring that back. Anyway, but that's the thing. And then finally, they are officially making a movie for Days Gone. That's that zombie video game, which I know.
Speaking of a movie trend,
game, like, that's so big. It's one of the zombie video games.
Yep.
But I know the game didn't necessarily pop off that much. I know it wasn't that popular. Like Cody, I know you played it, but LJ, did you play it too? Well.
I played some of it, and
I beat it.
Yeah. So honestly, I think like as the story itself, I felt was like the characters were like fairly mediocre. But honestly, I feel like it would make a decent movie rather than a video game. Like, the video game was fun in its own way, you know, 'cause, like the motorcycle and just the gunplay and like doing like the traps and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I feel like this random cast of characters would indeed be better suited for like a movie, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I don't know.
Because I feel like they could get all the biker bros to like watch that movie, and it could appeal to a casual audience.
Well, it's such a simple. I mean, I don't want to give too much of the game away, but the basis of the game is that you find different camps, and then the game's old. You're basically bringing the camps together for one final battle, and I feel like that just works for a movie. He's just going to go from town to town and work all these camps and bring them together, and then it'll be this one big hurrah at the end. Weird biker fight. So I don't know. It all seems like it could totally literally take that game and turn it into a movie.
Theme that thing and make it a movie and like get everybody on board.
I think part of
it doesn't necessarily have to be straight from the game, but
no.
They could easily fit that story into.
I mean, I think of like like there are characters that I feel like I don't care about this character, but I feel like some random moviegoer would be like, "Oh, that guy's awesome," or "This character's cool," you know. Like, I feel
Boozer is fantastic.
Yeah. So like, there's characters I feel like that like a casual audience would probably appreciate more than like people like us who have played much stronger story-driven video games than Days Gone.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing story-wise for that game for me was that they kind of struggled between the fight between people and the fighting with the zombies. And at the end of it all, it kind of they didn't mix as well as they could have. So maybe a story could do a little bit more with that. But Walking Dead's already kind of done that. So I don't know. We'll see.
And in video game and film, like I said, the zombie trend is kind of like on a downturn. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, we got the Last of Us show coming out. We've already gone through a whole Walking Dead. I'm just personally, I'm burnt out on zombies, but maybe that's just me. Maybe this could be a good movie. If anything, I feel like I remember because again, I never actually played Days Gone, but I remember the marketing for it, and I remember like they kept using the scene or like a couple scenes where it's just literally like a huge wave of zombies coming at you, and like that was sort of their marketing thing where it was like, oh, you know, this is a zombie game, but it's not like other zombie games where there's like a couple zombies and they're kind of sneaking around, they're kind of scary, but this is like literally giant waves of zombies and they're fast and they're running at you.
And then World War Z kind of did that on a mass scale too.
Exactly.
So it's like
you could really utilize them in this game though. I mean, you could like set up a sound thing that would go off. And again, Walking Dead has done this. But you basically take a bomb that just made a loud noise and throw it in someone's camp, and it would like overrun their camp with zombies.
Yep.
Just like,
super satisfying.
Or get a bear to not kill some of them, or vice versa. Or whatever,
yeah.
You know, like,
but there have been episodes of Walking Dead where they've hoarded up a bunch of zombies, and then released them on a city or whatever they're doing. So.
It's kind of terrifying, but it's like that's the one thing where I'm kind of like, well, maybe they can like lean into that a little bit. But you're right, World War Z also kind of did that. So like, I don't know. We'll see.
That's got a video game too.
We will see how it goes. But that's our movie news.
Cool. We'll get into TV then. LJ, did you watch? Yeah, we both watched She-Hulk.
Yep.
Shelley, you haven't seen She-Hulk yet?
I haven't even watched Ms. Marvel yet.
Oh no!
Umbrella Academy. I'm real behind on shows.
Dang.
See, Miss Marvel is one of those things. It's like it's got issues, but I can't deny that it was fun to watch.
It was way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, there's just something about it I couldn't be mad at.
She-Hulk's really good. I'm still having an issue with Hulk. I just feel like Hulk has been completely wrecked, and they had chances to kind of fix that in this a little bit. And I would have been like more okay with it. I don't know how to say this without like giving anything away. There's a situation where the Hulk gets kind of upset, kind of frustrated, and I was like, oh, maybe they can kind of showcase that he can still get angry and kind of rage, and he just doesn't. And I was like, man, if that would have been kind of cool to see him. Like, the capability for him to unleash, and that he has more control over it, and I'd be like, fine, as long as I know that deep down, if he did get angry, he could still, like, Hulk out on something. So, I don't know. Smart Hulk is still Smart Hulk. Not Professor Hulk. He's dubbed that in the show, that he is Smart Hulk.
Sounds like a legal endorsement to me.
Yeah, the tease, we've heard rumors about it, and they didn't show anything in this episode that we haven't seen the trailer, but the tease for Scar is pretty cool. And that's the child of Hulk. At least that's what I'm assuming we were seeing there in the trailers and then in this episode. But She-Hulk, on the other hand, the character of this, I guess Hulk was the main focus for me because I'm such a Hulk fan. I think it's gonna be great. I like the comedy, I like the tone of it, and I like her so far.
The comedy, I think, is, and it's weird because I know there are people that aren't liking it because of the comedy, and I'm like, but no, that's fully what they said this was going to be. Like, we're not meant to take this. I mean, like, there is still that Marvel flair to it, where it's like, ooh, like, there's big stuff that's happening. But also, it's like, no, we're in for a ride for this one. And the first episode does feel a very pilot episode, but I think that's perfect, because it is supposed to have that primetime television vibe. So I was like, it's perfect for it to have that pilot style. But I'm excited to see more.
And we got the Hulk for almost the entire thing. That surprised me.
And there's gonna be a lot of episodes for this too, so it's not just gonna be 6 and done. I think it's gonna be like 8, maybe
cool.
more. Yeah,
I'm excited. I think I read somewhere that they're going to explain the fourth wall breaking, and I think that'll be really weird. Like, how do you explain that? But I will say it was a little awkward at first. Got used to it after a while. I think of fourth wall breaks, and I think of House of Cards. And since this is a law thing and that's a political thing, I just kept making those correlations. Funny. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, see, I've never seen House of Cards, but
it's oof.
Yeah.
he will in the House Cards. For those who don't know, great show. Unfortunately, Kevin Spacey was charged as being garbage.
I love that. Chargers being garbage. That's a good
Rip.
term to use for things like that.
Oh,
but he would say something, and he would say it very like cheerfully and just politically correct, and just do a really good job being a politician. And
Turn
then
the
he
camera
would
and
look
go,
at the screen and be like, "This is what I'm doing,"
Yeah.
and then tell you the manipulation behind everything, and it would just give you goosebumps.
That's cool.
Yeah, show is intense. Not getting goosebumps from She-Hulk yet, but I definitely kept making that correlation. Anyways,
Cool.
I would say if you are watching the Marvel shows, I wouldn't want to skip this one. Also, I think that this is probably going to be a really important show as far as the cinematic universe goes. With Daredevil being such a big player in the next few phases, and it feels a little bit more on Earth, and I feel like the Captain America type stuff is gonna kind of feed into this. Can't say for sure yet, but Thunderbolt Ross is the one who starts the Thunderbolts in the comics, and obviously he's passed away, but I would assume that Thunderbolts will kind of have a role to play in this. Abomination, Bonsky
is going to be the
So
I think he'll be a part of that.
Yeah, I would assume that if you're invested in that part of the universe, this show's going to be important to it.
And you may not have to necessarily watch Miss Marvel before you watch this. Like, to be honest. Like,
yeah, so far I haven't seen anything.
I don't think Miss Marvel is really going to have any connection to this.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm about to spoil something. Yeah, Miss Marvel's got. I mean, everyone knows the Marvels has been announced.
Yeah.
So that's not a spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird everything that they announce and like let you know about.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that Miss Marvel won't be important until the Marvels, probably.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Cool. LJ, what other shows have you watched?
I just want to give a quick shout out to Tekken Bloodline, which came out also same day as She-Hulk. It was a good TV day for me.
Nice.
They kind of take the plot of Tekken 3 and the story of Jin and kind of run with it. I never played Tekken 3, which sounds like a gaming crime, but I didn't have a PlayStation. Apparently, they do change a few things related to the story, but I think for people who aren't really familiar with Tekken, it's kind of an interesting introduction to like the story of the Mishimas and like where Jin comes from. You know, how his grandfather is Heihachi and his dad is Kazuya and stuff. It's like that's a big part of the Tekken series. It is pretty solid. It's fun. It's one of those things where like you're going to watch the fights. You know, you're not expecting some big exposition. It is cool as a Tekken geek for me to see them like actually pull off moves from the game. I'm like, oh yes, I know the inputs for that move. You know, kind of a thing. The animation it's okay for the most part, but there's this weird thing they do with the lighting, where like the way the lighting hits their heads, it does this weird like triangular thing, so that can be kind of off-putting. Like I don't know what made them do like the lighting like that or how that works. I don't know if it's like the 3D. I don't know if it's like
just the way
some
it renders.
kind of 3D-ness. Yes, but the way that the light renders is
Kind of
super weird.
Huh.
Yes, and it like renders as like a triangle like over their head. It's kind of like funky, like so that can be distracting, and the animation is definitely not perfect. I don't think the show. There's only 6 episodes, and I haven't finished them. I've watched like 2, but I'm excited to watch more, just from a fan standpoint.
Yeah.
So I'll report back once I've actually finished it, but it's all right so far. I'm enjoying it. So.
What have you been watching, Shelley?
I've been watching not a new show.
Okay.
That's okay too.
I've been watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Which one?
The 2003 show.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
yes, I think it came on Saturday mornings originally.
Yeah, so basically, it's because we played... Well, and I forgot to actually mention the game section, but I barely played any, so I really had nothing to talk about. But I did play the Shredder's Revenge a little bit. Like, my husband got it.
Nice.
And he beat it. And I only played a little bit, so really I kind of forgot that I played it. So, but because of that, my husband was really feeling nostalgic for TMNT because he grew up watching that show.
That's a good, like, obviously the original, you know, like the old, like, 80s one is still, like, solid, but that
this was my TMNT.
Yes, and
yeah,
so
exactly.
that was the one that came on, like, the Fox box or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually really good. Like, I remember that one being awesome.
No, it's good. It's like, we're watching through it, and we kind of made this, like, deal that, like, we're gonna watch through this, and then, which is, like, him showing me this show, and then I'm gonna show him Teen Titans. So we're still watching this show.
Oh, has he not seen Teen Titans?
He hasn't seen Teen Titans now.
Oh, so good.
So that's what I mean. It's like we're gonna both be able to experience our nostalgic like superhero show, right?
I am so happy for him that he's gonna get to experience that for the first time.
Yeah,
yes,
and
I'm
awesome. Actually really freaking liking TMNT. Like we're kind of skipping most of the filler episodes, but I think it's funny because he had told me that back in like college, he like rewatched one episode from the show to see if it was still good, and he thought it wasn't good. But now that we're watching it again, he's like, wait a second. When I liked it as a kid, it's because I thought all this stuff was super cool. But now that I'm rewatching it, like the cool stuff is actually just cheesy, but it's kind of fun, and it's really funny.
Though. There's like cool story arcs too.
Yeah, there's like these story arcs, and it's really funny. They have all these really funny jokes. And they keep, like, referencing, like, Spider-Man and stuff, even though they can't. Kind of. Or at least maybe back then they kind of could, but it's just funny. They have, like, really funny references and just, like, actually fun jokes that I kind of chuckle a lot. I'm just like, oh, this is actually kind of funny. And, like, just really cute, wholesome moments between, you know me, I love my wholesome moments between characters. And they have a lot of that. So, and I love Casey Jones.
That's great.
He's so funny.
Oh, Casey Jones is great in everything.
He's like my guy. He's like, every character I play in D&D is just him. Just the himbo. I love it.
Y'all should watch the live action movies from back in the day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because he's good in that too.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how much more TMNT we'll watch, because I don't know how much more, like, my husband watched per se, really. But, I don't know, I'm kind of enjoying it so far. I don't know how much more we have to watch, but yeah, like, whenever we finish it, we're going to switch over to Teen Titans, but, all I'm saying is that I like it. I'm having fun with it, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Like, not that I thought it was, like, going to be bad or anything, but I'm glad it held up the way it does, and, that, yeah, just some of the jokes still hit. Some of the jokes are still funny. Like, freaking, I lost my mind. I lost my mind when there was a scene where April dresses up in her classic reporter outfit, because in this show she's a scientist, she's not a reporter.
Yes.
So they changed that, right? And so they dress her up in her classic reporter outfit to do this undercover thing, and then they have Casey Jones on the camera. They're like trying to get in somewhere, right? And so they're pretending to be reporters and the cameraman. And then she walks up to this guy and she's just like, I heard this terrorist group called and then Casey Jones just says Goongala Kawabunga. And it's so funny because you're like, why did he say that? It makes no sense. There's no reasoning behind it. It's hilarious. I love it. I died. So that's how my experience is going with TMNT so far. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so good. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I remember that show. That was such a good show.
It's still good.
It's all on YouTube. We're watching it all on YouTube. It's all there.
Oh, that's cool.
So. It's probably on Paramount or something too.
That's crazy.
But that's good. I mean, you don't have to pay for like another service to watch it though.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll get into the TV news then. HBO it's still in the news. I don't know. They announced quite a few different shows. The only one that they really like put this big focus on, obviously, they had the what's the Game of Thrones show?
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. They showcased that a little bit, more like repetitively, just over and over and over.
Yes.
But we got a pretty good look, for it being this weird montage of shows of The Last of Us, and even like The Last of Us is a thumbnail. I just realized that on the trailer. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But we don't know a whole lot. It looks really good. It looks like it's I mean, we just got a few stills, but cinematographically, is that the right word? There are a lot of really cool shots. That it looks like they're actually like taking time and putting time into this. And then, what's his name? You guys just told me a minute ago. That's playing Joel.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal?
Yeah, Pedro Pascal. I wanted to say Pascal, and I was like, Pascal who? Pedro Pascal. He's got the voice for Joel down, which was surprising. I didn't expect.
It trips me out because I hear Pedro Pascal, but I also hear that little bit of like
almost Southern.
Yeah, but it's weird because it sounds like just him doing the Mandalorian, but also with just that hint of like Joel's voice in it. It felt almost like I was hearing the two at the same time when he talked.
I didn't think that he would try to sound like the video game counterpart. I figured it would just be him being him, and so for there to be that like subtle southernness to him, really, really cool. I mean, we got one line. We'll see if he sticks with it.
And it's weird too, because like Troy Baker himself like doesn't even sound like Troy Baker when he in that role either, like in the video game. So it's just like wow, like the dude did awesome. He,
I think that as much as I'm like, I wish we had a whole new story and we were exploring other things. It seems like they're gonna try to stay pretty faithful to the video game, and I think that could be really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally shot by shot video game to scenes from this little tiny clip. So I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's cool. I'm going to be definitely watching it.
Yeah, same.
I don't think I have HBO Max right now. If I do, I haven't been using it, and that will be a reason to do so.
Team Abby
for sure.
Hashtag Team Abby.
HBO Max is really it's really scary right now. Because they're doing all these live action things, but they've literally just taken down so much of their animation. And it's just like, there's a lot of animated shows that were on there that are literally, you can't get them anywhere else. Like Infinity Train is one, for example.
Yeah.
I think that was the only place to watch Infinity Train, like non-pirated, right? And now they just completely removed it. And I'm just like, I don't know if I like this. Like these huge swath cut of like animation shows for HBO Max, but then they're also like, oh well, like look at these live action shows. Like it's really, I don't know. It's very sus to me. I don't like it. I don't like I don't know, kind of what we have been fearing for a while. I think we've even talked about how it's like, well, if we get to a point in which everything is just on streaming services, then like what's going to happen when you can't access those streaming services or when they take out stuff, and then what's going to happen? Well, now we're like kind of seeing it.
At that point, it's like, is it piracy if they're taking it down? I mean, I guess if they're not making it public domain, like...
Yeah, and it's... I don't know. It's kind of scaring me
We didn't put that in the news, too. I just remembered that. I can't remember what company it is, but a huge movie theater chain is filed for bankruptcy. I can't remember which one it is.
Cinemark, I think.
Cinemark?
Really?
The parent company is Cinemark, I think. Yep.
Oh, wow.
So, and they're blaming streaming services, which is worrisome.
Yeah, so, oh gosh, it's like, I don't know. I was even thinking about Blockbuster today. I was thinking about Blockbuster. We went by and, where like the building where I used to go to Blockbuster as a kid. It's obviously not Blockbuster anymore. It changed companies a long time ago. But like I thought about it, I was just like, man, like having physical copies of stuff, like might become the new thing again because these streaming services are kind of being scary with how they're just...
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Regal Cinemas.
It's Regal? Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
I had to double check
something
that.
Big.
Because the parent company is called Cineworld, but it's Regal Cinemas that is going to file. They're going to file for bankruptcy, apparently.
Scary. It's like, I just see this future where it's like the theaters are all gone, we only have streaming services, but then like once there's only like 3 big streaming services, which... Actually, that probably won't happen. Like, I feel like if anything, we're getting to a trend where we're just getting more and more streaming services. But like, once they just own these things and like have all this power, and they're like, oh well, like we're putting more money in our live action. And to be fair, I don't know if this is the reason behind this. Probably it's not. It's just a small dumb theory where it's like, oh, we're putting all this money into live action, so we want all of our audience to look there instead of our animation. Let's cut out our animation. Like, I don't know. That's really scary to me. I don't like that. And, like, eventually that could happen for anything, including live action, but, like, I don't know. We're gonna go back into piracy days. We're talking about the pirates coming back. Like, we're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring it back because this is the trend.
Now we're getting into the stuff that video game preservation has been dealing with.
Exactly, it's really the same, right?
It really is.
It's media preservation.
You can't get it on DVD or anything.
Yep, I mean, there's so much that like you can't even get on like digital platforms now. You know, like there's stuff being removed. You know,
it's crazy.
So the gaming industry has already been dealing with this for a while. So
yeah, that's scary.
Yeah,
and I don't condone piracy per se.
No.
From Geeks Under Grace perspective, just want to say
that. Of course not.
However, that's what the trend is going to end up being, right? That's what's going to happen if you keep removing things from...
People are just going to pirate the things they can't get anymore.
It's going to just go back to how it was with cable, where it's like, oh, you just have to get a tape and record over it. Like, that's what I did. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot to mention. In the TV section, I started watching... I decided to watch Hamtaro randomly. There's not much to say about Hamtaro.
I saw your tweet
time.
Yeah.
I saw your tweet about Hamtaro, and I'm like,
man. I definitely forgot to talk about the TV section, so my apologies there.
Fun fact about me, I had hamsters because of that show.
Really? Let's go!
Yes.
Oh, I love Hamtaro. My gosh,
That's
they're all
great.
so cute. It's just, again, it's so wholesome. It's so cute. It's so, like...
So fun.
Great for kids.
Don't know if it holds up still, but...
It's kind of the same, I think. It's still just kind of wholesome and for kids. For I only watched like 4 or 5 episodes probably. I just kind of was in the mood for it. But even then I was kind of like, well, where can I watch this? It's not on any streaming services. The only way I was able to watch was Ham Ham Paradise, which is a dedicated website for specifically anything Hamtaro, and all of the episodes are uploaded there. By a dedicated team. They either pull it from DVDs, they pull it from recordings of the cable show, or they pull it from other dubs from like other languages, right? And it's like crazy how much time they put into this, and it's like an old website. It's been around for a long time. I think the last update was like 2 years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, which is crazy. But like, that's what's gonna have to turn back to again, you know? Like, I can't find it anywhere. And I have to turn to a website like that to find things like Hamtaro. So, I
think Hamtaro was legit on Cartoon Network too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I had a hamster named Hamtaro, and I would hold Hamtaro, and Hamtaro would sleep on my chest like in a blanket while I watched the show.
That's so precious.
That's amazing.
Was he like a little orange and white, or was he like a different color?
He was brown and white.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh, that's
a show I weirdly enjoyed too. That felt like I shouldn't have been watching it. I don't know, because I don't know if it was like a girl show or anything. But I'm like,
it definitely felt like a girl show as a kid, but I didn't care. It was great.
It was like a guilty pleasure for me at the time.
It's wonderful.
Yep.
I had to throw that out there. It's somehow
we had
connected.
Hamtaro and we had Bijou.
Bijou's weird. I totally forgot she had a French accent, and it threw me off like crazy when watching. I was just like, why does this hamster have a French accent, bro? Like, this is really weird.
Yeah. Like, oh man, that's so great. Anyway. There's no good way to segue this, but we'll get to our next story. And that is our
I
Netflix.
Totally took us on a freaking weird thing. My bad.
No, good. The trailer for Wednesday has come out, and they released a still before the trailer.
So is this episode. I'm just kidding.
Definitely did it a disservice, because I saw the still and I was like, the cast doesn't look... I don't know. I was just kind of like, it doesn't look like the Addams Family I think of is like the 1990s movie that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That wasn't this, and I was like, meh. But the show, from what we gather from the trailer, is basically that Wednesday goes to Hogwarts. She's going to like some kind of monster school, and
some super special school, yeah.
Yeah, a school for whatever the Addams Family are. Weird.
I believe it's literally called Nevermore or some crap like that.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's I don't know, but it actually looks kind of fun.
It looks good. It looks fun.
It looks darker than I thought it would be.
And Tim Burton's doing it. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. It's got like a dark humor feel to it, which I think is pretty cool.
The whole thing, right?
Is dark.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wasn't excited for it, but I might actually check the episodes out. Yeah. And that was we just had a couple trailers this week for the TV news, so yeah. It's end of the line. What you guys geeked out about anything else this week?
Not really for me. I did discover that the She-Hulk comics that the show is based off of is free on Prime on Kindle, so I'm definitely going to read some of those before we watch more of the show. So
that's hype.
Cool.
Nice.
Shelley?
Nothing for me. I'm good.
Cool. All right, then where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellShock24.
LJ?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at LJ the Paladin. You can find me streaming on our Twitch channel on Friday nights, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace.
Cool. And you can find me on my Instagram at Cody Armour. My last photo, I'm wearing a cowboy hat.
Nice.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought here. It's Imtaro time. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye-bye. Love him.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.